right, good morning, everyone. Like Mike said, my name is Sidney Hamlett. I'm one of our account representatives out of our Midland office for ISN. Let's see if I can get my clicker to work here. There we go. Oop, a little fast. Perfect. Well, I know there may be some familiarity with ISN. I saw a few familiar faces in the room, but a lot of new faces. So wanted to start with just a quick introduction of who we are here. So we are a local company. We actually have a Midland-based office where we work locally with a lot of the operators out here. A lot of the carrier companies are clients of ours. So we're excited to be here and see you all in person. When we look collectively at our company as a whole, we work to manage about 850 clients and operators worldwide. Here in the Permian specifically, we focus with about 50 operators and clients in the upstream construction, mining, chemical space. So a lot of the names you may see, Oxy, Chevron, Atlas, are all clients of ours. We work with them to manage a contractor and carrier base of about 12,000 carriers working out here in the Permian with a worker base of almost 85,000 workers, specifically within the Empower app. We wanted to highlight some of the data that our team has gathered from your carriers within ISNet World. So our team is a data repository, so we collect information from your contractors and carriers via their OSHA forums. We have a couple other relationships with third parties where we pull in verified information from their sources, but we wanted to highlight on some that we pull from their OSHA logs specifically. So to start out, we wanted to align on what the definition is that we're going to be using when we think of a SIF. So we do use OSHA's definition. I know there are a couple out there that are a little different. IOGP has a different one. So we really kind of standardize off of OSHA's definition of a SIF, which will be a work-related fatality, life-altering injury, hospitalization, amputation, loss of an eye. So when we look at transportation-specific data, this is all information that we scrub from contractors' OSHA logs or carrier OSHA logs, and this is all specific to those carrier-specific NAICS codes. So they perform DOT-regulated tasks. They are working as carriers or logistics coordinators. This is going to be the information specific to them. So we see on this the orange graph on your left, I believe right-hand side, there we go. What are we seeing the highest number of cases with? So we're seeing the highest number of those fractures and dislocations, mainly from the drivers. Drivers are going to be the #1 job title that are reporting the highest number of incidents, with laborers and mechanics being second and third, respectively. What are the event categories? So we're seeing in the middle there with 30 and 20% falls, slips, and trips, which I think it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I feel like that's standard across the workforce, not just limited to those in the carrier transportation space. And then you can see kind of just some of the other, we'll send these slides as well so y'all have access to this, but most of our fractures, dislocations are resulting from slips, trips, sprains, and falls. We've talked a lot about safety culture, and Officer Blanco mentioned making sure that your subs of subs and your subs have policies in place, and just wanted to corroborate that data. That's what we see on our end as well. So on this graph, on my right-hand side, we asked the question, do your contractors and your carriers have written programs within their health and safety manual that show outline their company's expectations regarding driving safety, driving fitness, kind of everything surrounding their transportation-based scope of work? And we actually see that those who do have programs in place have significantly lower incident rates. So this lighter orange color is going to be those companies who have programs in place. They have about a 43% lower incident rate than those companies who maybe don't have a program in place. On the other graph, we asked, okay, so they have a program in place, but is that program meeting all of our standards? So it's great that they have a program, but did they just type up a real quick program? It's not meeting your regulatory standards. Contractors and carriers who have programs that aren't meeting standards actually have higher incident rates. So if they have a program in place and it meets all kind of required expectations from regulatory bodies, but also any client set expectations, we see that they have a 41% lower incident rate. We wanted just to share a few company statistics as well, specific to those operators in the upstream, oil and gas, downstream, midstream industries. So we actually see that fatalities are not concentrated to those companies with larger employee size. We actually find that our highest group of fatalities are going to be those more mid-sized companies, so less than 100 employees. They, of course, have higher fatality rates, similar to incident rates. They probably have lower man hours, therefore higher rates. But you can see the second bar here. I know it's really small on your screen, but those mid-sized companies are sitting around 38 to 37 fatalities annually. We did a 3-year analysis over the information that we pull from contractors and carriers' OSHA logs. Within our system, we actually scrub all of the data off of those OSHA forms and do some data analysis for our in-house data science team, and they put together lovely charts for us. But we are seeing an overall downward trend of incident rates. So this is not specific to the work in the Permian. This is nationwide of every carrier that reports under that. I believe it's 4847 NAICS code. So an overall trend, to Mike's point earlier, in the Permian, we're still kind of holding steady for fatalities. So still lots of work to do. If you're interested in any of this data specifically, feel free to stop by. Interestingly enough, we are seeing the highest number of incidents occurring on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so kind of in the middle of the week. And then our highest recorded months are going to be February and November. Ways we can help. So we partner with a lot of the operators out here in the Permian to track carrier-centric data for them. So we actually have a relationship with the FMCSA to pull in different verified statistics directly from their website based on vendors' DOT codes. So you can see the 4 data points that we pull into, and then it's all calculated on a basic status. And what this looks like from an operator standpoint is you're actually able to weight and grade the different components accordingly to meet your expectations and your priorities, what you expect your subs and subs of subs to align with from a DOT standpoint. We track other items outside of statistics, so policies is one that's come up a lot. We actually have a review team that reviews all DOT programs, written health and safety manuals, which includes that DOT transportation rate kind of centric group. We also track insurance for you all as well to make sure that those who come on site, those subs of subs, that they have the appropriate insurance coverages in place prior to working for you all. All right, wanted to leave you with a few ways that we can help. So our team is here to help partner with you in this safety journey that you are all on. So these are a few of our tools that we see popular in the industry. Just to call out a few of them, we have REFS 360. This is a desktop audit of your subs and your vendors' health and safety programs, making sure that their employees and workers are familiar with the content and actually using it in their day-to-day operations. Contractors and vendors who go through that have about a 12% reduction in their incident rate overall. And then culture is another one I wanted to hit on, and we've heard a lot about safety culture here today. We actually have an offering called Culture Site. It's available from an operator standpoint, but also for your vendors and suppliers to evaluate their internal safety culture. They'll work with our consulting arm and maybe address some of the gaps if there's retraining needed, or kind of they'll provide some suggestions to mitigate some of the issues that they're having, share some best practice that we've seen from other operators who have gone through that. And then last slide for me, we do have more vendor-related benefits. We actually have a learning management system. We partner with over, I believe it's 20 different data providers to offer over 150 different training options. So NSC is actually one of our data providers. So any of your vendors and contractors who have an IS Networld account can take all of their training directly within IS Networld. So huge benefit. Their licenses are complimentary, so they can go in and do some of their training internally on a desktop, laptop, and then also through our Empower app. And I think that is it for me. Kyle Hibbard and I will be at the back on that table. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop by. You can also scan the QR code. It'll take you to our website. But thank you so much for having us. And I will pass it back to Mike.